about my right to do that?
Yeah, seriously.
God, where do you all come from?
It's on my right to carry this last little metal detector.
You got 5 minutes.
Bye.
Where is he going? He left.
Yeah?
You want me to get some more chairs?
No, I'm going to seat people on the floor and they can stand around because this is supposed to be a docent tour.
Okay.
And technically, you're supposed to stand for one, but I'm not going to throw people out of chairs we already had in here. So,
That'll work.
We'll just get all cozy and actually get to sit through this one. He'll be right back.
No, what I'm gonna do is dollars on the plan. I said USPS.
Like that.
So,
I was looking at this one.
you know, I got one that's I don't want to.
Well, except I have something similar to that anyway. But not quite so much. I don't have one of those.
Regular roads, the light straw,
Well,
Well, I'm a kayaker, so I have all kinds of stuff.
You don't have to point to brigantine, do you? You don't have to point to brigantine the same way you point arm and leg armor, do you? You don't have to point to brigantine the same way you point arm and leg armor, do you? Yeah. Armoring points. Yeah. They tie it to their undergarments.
Oh, no, Brigantine is self-structured.
That's what I thought.
It laces to itself. Yeah, I have a scale leather armor, which is on a leather back there. So it's only tomorrow, probably.
Might try to make a brigantine.
It's a lot. Yeah, but I'll
I know a guy who works at a sheet metal factory. So I think let's get him to cut him out for me and then just put him on. How do you...
you have to find the lacing pattern and then basically just repeat the lacing pattern over and over. That's the thing, is I don't have the lacing pattern, so I have to find it. And then enough laces actually
I thought they were riveted to the cloth.
You people are lucky they make me behave here. You have no idea what I would give for a barrel and a watermelon right now. Impact weapons, just swish. I like Gallagher, he's funny.
I'll make sure to pass that on to the. We'll do our best to try to pass it on up the ladder. That you guys need a demonstration area.
Right. Oh, no. The idea of a demonstration area for the armory is like, well, how long does it have to be? 1,200 meters would be nice. 5,000 better. You know, oh, we'll just go on a roof. We've got 50s. We've got a 12-7. We've got a minigun. We've got rocket launchers. The cops like us. No, we're extremely well behaved. I have probably the best, most professional crew of workers here. I could not do this show without them, period. Just absolutely. Besides the obvious security issues.
Right.
I mean, the stuff in the other room. Come on, how many other displays are there at science fiction conventions? You have to be seriously concerned with state, federal, and local laws. Besides us.
Yeah.
So, enjoy the show. This is absolutely unique. This is only done at Dragoncon. I don't know if anybody else does it anywhere in the country. The reason is it's so damn hard. We have changed this year. We have expanded. This is the expansion. This is the Kennesaw room. What we are calling the edged weapons room, or basically everything without a serial number. Two reasons. One is the next door is high security. If no one understands that, stay the hell out of next door. Second, we pay for police, 24-hour police, plus my own personnel, plus we have people on site 24 hours a day. You know, one of the reasons we have these people is they enjoy showing this stuff off. We have, in effect, built a museum in the basement of the Hyatt. The physical labor involved is intense. Seems like such a small word. We built this in 2 days.
I'll believe it.
There's 2.5 tons of material, not including the guns. And we have to move it here. And the trailer came off the hitch on Butler Street, next to here. So, we had, okay, this isn't actually one of our, it could be an impact weapon. This was a gift. I have interesting friends. And I appreciate it a lot. But what these talks are what we call docents. They are specifically to museums. They're like walking tours of a group of items. And the first one in the Blade Room, we're going to go to the earliest weapon, which is also some of the most modern weapons, and that's impact devices. What's an impact device? Something that transfers kinetic energy to the target. Well, hell, a bullet's an impact device. But it's also the earliest weapon. It's certainly the earliest biblical weapon. That make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Did that not make sense to somebody? Yeah, Abel and Cain and a rock. What's it do? Adds weight to the human fist, allowing that weight to put more energy on the target. It's also generally less resilient than the flesh of the hand, also you won't break your own bones. So the impact causes more damage to the target than it does to you. The earliest weapon was probably 2001, 5-bone. Bone of a leg. Thickest bone. You're done eating it. Why do you have a sword? Did they try to take it away from you?
What's that?
You have a sword.
Yeah, when I went over next door, they took it away from me. I just had to put it back on.
I have a guard with a submachine gun at the door. Suppressed. You won't hear it. The first purpose-built weapon is the really common club. Tree root, thin earth base, and at the head allows you to concentrate the energy. This evolves and evolves and evolves and evolves until you are at the point where he's digging through his pockets. Big secret, can't pull this stuff off the wall. I can't even do it. Well, actually, yes, sort of can, but.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. My fault.
15th century Italian mace. 8-flanged mace. These are flanges. Probably the most sophisticated evolution of the club. Okay? What makes it sophisticated? Okay, it's flanged. What does that mean? It concentrates the energy of the impact in a much smaller area than the simple sphere or conical piece would do. This allows you to strike at armor and dent the armor. You may not kill the guy on the inside, but in medieval hinged armor, you dent the hinge points, and he's not going to be able to move. Whack out it a while longer, he's not going to be able to breathe. Strike at the head, and these small flanges will penetrate the skull very quickly. Penetration resulting in death. And that's just how it happens. The flail is actually an evolution of the mace and had a purpose, had a specific purpose. And it would strike behind a target. Now, behind a target? The shield he's holding up, coming in at you, you strike at him with the flail, the chain will hit the edge of the shield, and the ball will strike the guy behind it. The points on that act in the same manner as the flanges on the mace. They concentrate the effect. There are, especially in some Czech museums, artist steel is the good book for it, helmets with penetration wounds from this type of device. Why wasn't it more popular? Why is it almost legendary? Like, did that really happen? It's harder to use. It's very easy to injure yourself with it. And if you're in armor, you're not really swinging something like that a lot. You just can't see it. So that's a ground pounder's weapon, an infantry soldier's weapon. It would be used by a knight from horseback because it extends his reach. But even at that, you're risking injuring the animal, which puts you on foot, and that really screws your day. So those are probably the most sophisticated evolutions of the club. But there were other iterations of it. The warhammer is a big one. Now, you'll notice it's called a warhammer because of the hammer you use in war. Evolved from the regular blacksmith tool, everyday hammer. Many, many of the medieval weapons evolved from common agricultural instruments. We were actually considering bringing some. The British bill came from a weapon called a brush hook. The Volge, that long polearm with a big head, that's the predecessor of the halberd. What was it? It was a butcher's cleaver used for oxen strapped to a pole. Because if it'll kill an ox, it'll kill that son of a bitch on the horse trying to kill me. Oh, well, dear, he's going to charge. I'm going to put a point on it. That took care of the charging problem. And it evolved into like the national weapon of the Swiss. It's still seen today. The Swiss guards at the Vatican, they carry halberds. But the pole arms are 7 o'clock this evening. The warhammer, the difference between, it evolved from an agricultural tool, which means it's modified. What are the modifications? The concentration of the blow. Remember the same thing the flanges did? That's why it has a crenellated face. The corners will strike and dent the armor. A mobility kill. That's what it's called in modern days, mobility kill. You take out his ability to move. Smack him with the other end, the hook, or the point, if you will. A hawk's bill was also something that was called, and he's just dead. So move on to the next target. The warhammer also was made much, much longer, and again, a polearm that will be discussed later is the poleaxe. The most common version of it has a hammerhead on the other. It's basically that thing with a 6-foot long handle. But they never leave well enough alone, so there's other bells and whistles on them. So that's the sophisticated club, the sophisticated hammer. What about the plain old ship? The plain stick, this is a tire thumper. It's just a billy. In England, the short club carried by police was called a billy. No, I have no idea why. I can tell you why they were called coppers, but not billy. the weapon can be used. Okay, it's wood. Wood is somewhat resilient. It tends not to crush skulls as easily as, say, iron. Not to say you can't do it. You can obviously kill someone with a baseball bat. You can kill someone with that thing. You just got to work harder at it. It's shorter. What does that mean? You have less leverage. Impact of the, let's call it warhead, is less. So you can use it for crowd control, individual control. It is a controlling weapon, not a killing weapon. And what's one of the other really neat things to do with it? Poke them in the gut. It's really hard to be obnoxious and do bad things when you can't breathe. You basically stand there trying to remember what breathing was like and then barf. Cool, right? Okay, man. Billy, you need a little more than that, especially in the United States. So we go to the nightstick, longer. I have a friend's police officer. He actually learned how to spin the damn nightstick, but it was an old guy who taught him. It wasn't anything in training. And what that is he's got a loop, and he walks along spinning the thing, and he catches it each time. It's just an old cop trick. It's kind of fun to watch in the movies. It's hard to tell to do, because you hit things, you know, and they're all part of you. But larger one, a little more aggressive strike, a little more weapon oriented, but still resilient enough that you're not going to kill the guy unless you want to, or the situation gets out of hand, which means the option is yours. Now, there is another version of it, which isn't tied down, so I can go ahead and pick it up. That's this one. Why is this one different from the Billy Club? I'm holding it this way for a reason. This is the riot control version. This is the 30-inch military club. Again, good hard oak. Like the Billy, you can strike with it. We were taught a specific way, this thong's too long, to hold it, which that wasn't, I told you, the thong was too long. Like this. Why?
Can't be pulled.
Nope. At 180 degrees wrong. Grab it.
Can't let it go. Yeah, you basically don't want it to be.
And my partner's going to shoot him. Yeah, you don't want it around your wrist. You know, that's what they were doing with the Billy Club, which is actually kind of fun. But if you do that, yeah, you can hang on to it better. But it also hangs on to you better. The big thing with the riot control baton is the action you do with it. Force them back. Okay, that didn't work. Thrust. That's going to hurt a lot. But you're not going to kill them. That's going to kill them. You don't do that. You do that. Oh, you want them laying down? Bang! Not the knee, the shin. You want him laying down and never getting up again for the rest of his life? The knee. Mobility, kill. It's bad. However, yeah, we go through a lot of zip ties. There is a martial arts weapon, the tonfa. Anybody heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
What is it? No, not. What is it like this?
Yeah.
What was it?
Well, it was
Or is it a Russian wheat?
you know, especially
Nope.
No, it was
was
a handle for
grinding
for
something.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's handled for a grind wheel.
Yeah, the grind wheel. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, how's that for innocuous?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to hit my knee. Americans get a hold of it. PRB 24. Monodoc riot baton. Hard polyplastic, side handle, lets you hold it. This is the motorcycle cops version. That's how you use it. Why is this a motorcycle cops version? because he could sit down with this thing and shorter, had a little clip holster. This, you can really screw up a guy's day. This lets you thrust. This lets you strike. You want to see a fight with one of these things? Actually, a well choreographed one. That was a stupid ass movie that I just forgot. There's a movie. No, it's not Die Hard.
Terminator 2?
No, they made 4 or 5. Well, it's in Terminator.
Lethal Weapon?
Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
First Lethal Weapon. You see a real PRB-24 fight. And they worked at it. And they had to choreograph it carefully for one very important reason. That strike will bust your ass up. And they're hitting against each other's sticks, and you can hear it. It ain't sound man, folks. That's what they're doing. So they choreograph it well. The other is you can take a blow. Yeah, it's been a while. Okay, I'm going to break my arm. Probably today's most advanced version of the club, the Monodoc Baton. Directly evolved from a martial arts weapon, which directly evolved from the simplest of instruments, the grinding handle of a grindstone. We have several others, one of which I just couldn't come up with. I'm still trying. I've got people looking for it. Cops. To get me one. This is a kosh. Spring kosh. Why is it a spring? There's a spring in it. Middleweight. Oh, God, that hurts. Middleweight, padded in leather, spring handle. You can strike somebody. They actually had pockets in their uniforms for carrying these things. You stick your hand around it, through it, and you can strike a guy and bring him down very easily. His arm is broken. His wrist is broken. His shoulder is broken. He is not breathing for a while. I just killed his ass. I have nothing against you. It's the color. It just draws my eye.
The other view on this color.
This evolved from the blackjack. That's what we're trying to get is an actual blackjack. They're actually hard to come by. What I want is a cylindrical one that's soft. It looks kind of like a Coke bottle in shape, and it's filled with lead shot. And no one's making them anymore because they were actually too dangerous. They took training to use properly, so I'm probably going to end up having one made. There's a custom maker. Every year we try to do better and better. This year, we have the slapjack. This one is still in use in some departments, or at least it's allowed, because you can, okay, the bad term is tune a guy up, which is basically, you can work him over. Which is like, okay, A, he's an asshole. Because you don't do this idly because you're not going to stay on the damn force. Because the guys who work with you are going to say you're leaving. Because next time I run into that sumbitch, he's going to pull a gun or a knife. Because you tuned him up. On the other hand, you get guys who are just, stop that! Okay. But I like her a lot. Are we done? Yes. So the slapjack, again, just like the kosh, there's a spring in it. Strip of spring steel down through here, heavily padded with leather. Now, what's the big deal about this?
It's not going to break you.
What makes it better than the kosh?
Surface area?
Why was this an effective weapon?
Points of concentration.
Small surface area, large surface area.
Right.
It'll bruise, not break. You want to break, you hit with the edge. That's the slapjack. Now, sometimes you want neither the large PRB-24, you're not in a position where you can carry it. You're not trained to use well, your department doesn't like a kosh. This was originally called the ASP. Why was it called the ASP? Because it was invented by a company named ASP. God damn it. I'm playing with my ASP. The ASP doesn't do that. The collapsible baton does. This one is just a general one, which we picked up here. Guys carry it in a holster. Many active duty police will carry this thing, soldiers and so forth. Because you draw it from the holster, snap it out, and a good one will collapse right back up when you want it to. An old one will stick like that. This is steel. You will break bones. Yes, sir.
Are they legal to carry?
I will not answer that because I do not know the local laws for that specific purpose. Some places do allow them, some do not. I cannot tell you.
I know nothing.
No, I do not give answers to questions where if I'm wrong, the guy is in a lot of trouble. Last year I had people asking, well, what kind of steel tubing do I want to make to produce a homemade 12 gauge? Oh no.
You just don't.
No, it's a legal thing, so therefore I won't tell you. However, you'll notice because it's stuck so hard, hi, I'm back. You can thrust, again, it's a thrusting weapon, and it adds 2 feet to your range.
What's the weight?
Pound and a half.
Does it
This
lock
isn't all,
out?
huh?
When it's extended, is it locked out? Do you have to hit something to collapse it again?
This one you do.
Okay.
I mean, did you notice me with a big hammer thing? I was trying to make it collapse. This one doesn't collapse easy.
Okay, I mean, but like what they use, the police use now today, because if you're going to use that as more of a jabbing weapon, if it
Yeah.
collapses that easily, seems like
It
that's
doesn't.
effective. Okay, so
It doesn't. I just did a heavy thrust to get the thing to collapse, but it was extended on purpose, very hard, so that basically no one could mess with it.
Yeah.
But that's hard enough that if okay.
Yeah, I believe you.
Pokey. Pokey. Imagine if I actually put some asp in that. Some asp with my asp. Okay. And yet, it still collapses right up. Now, a personal favorite of mine. Yes, I don't get up much. Yeah, the actual classic brass knuckles. The true brass knuckles. Why are they true? Well, for one thing, they're made of brass. For another, this is the classic pattern. We try to be historical here. As far as getting weapons of all different kinds, that's easy. What we try to do is show you specific families or where something came from, so it wants to be historically significant. I don't care that you can go buy the electronic Batman version with 2 prongs that stick out and has an electric charge in it. Okay? That doesn't fit our purpose. This does. This is where it came from. Now, this actually just barely, in other words, I got it stuck on my hand, fits me. This is not the proper way to hold it. It doesn't fit my hand. This is the biggest one I could find. Yeah. But the idea of a brass knuckle is the hand will thrust, strike with the front surface, the knuckles, but the force is transmitted to the arm through the hand. So you hit somebody, you have now hit them with metal, with the force of your arm, with your whole with the weight and power of your arm behind it. You can also side strike very easily, and you have additional mass in your arm, but you got that one piece sticking out. So the brass knuckle is a classic device, and this is the classic version of it. It's also, I have no idea where in this country you could possibly carry one.
South Carolina. For self-defense only. Use it committing a crime.
Okay, I'm from Ohio. I can own it. That's all. I cannot carry it. I cannot take it outside. I cannot sell it. I cannot give it away. So I picked the thing up. Yeah, I got it from somebody. And I use it for this purpose. There are other weapons evolved that we do not have specimens of. My personal favorite, a cestus. A cestus is, short version, a steel boxing glove. Wham, lay down. Okay, fine. It is illegal in Ohio. It was on the sergeant's exam for Cleveland. Why is a cestus illegal? Because the law says so. What the hell is a cestus? I used to tell people and went into ska and they were like obnoxious, so they want to, I'm the big guy, you know. It's like, okay, fine. I use a sword. What are you going to use? I use a cestus. What's that? It's something that allows me to demonstrate my contempt for your opinion. I'm going to beat the snot out of you. I'll stab you with a sword. I'm going to grab it. What part of steel glove didn't you understand? So, these are impact weapons of an individual type, specifically to use the kinetic energy of a swing to deliver energy on the target. They are the most common, to the point where there are science fiction stories. I cannot remember the name of it. The guy carried a roll of quarter credit pieces. What's that? It's a roll of quarters. Why would you carry a roll of quarters? Because it fills your hand, adds weight, adds impact because the hand won't fold in on it. Oh, by the way, it's also going to bust your fingers. But it still sounds cool. Any questions? Anything I can answer? Anything I'm willing to answer? Yes, sir.
Yes. How do they make the flanges on a mace head?
This one is machine cut.
Yeah. How'd they do it back then?
They probably machine cut it or ground them. There's also the possibility that they were cast like that. I mean, just because it was back then does not mean they didn't have the ability to cut metal.
Yeah.
It's just doing it on an industrial scale, such as we do today. That's different. Anything else?
When they saw wartime use, medieval warfare, was it because of the evolution of armor that they had
Yes.
to give it up?
There is an old theory about how the monks used maces because their order didn't allow them to let blood. I have never found anything that connected up with that in reality at all. What it is the mace takes no training. It's a club. Smack them. A fully armored knight against somebody who's enthusiastic, small and fast, you're going to eat his lunch. Because all you're going to do is every time he moves, I mean, they swing, they got to recover. Well, that's the part you hit. And eventually you're going to get something good, and they're not getting up. You hit 'em.
Why are cops called coppers?
The old buttons were actually made of copper.
Oh, okay.
And they used to close things behind them and polish them. And that was a police uniform. It had copper buttons, hence copper.
Interesting.
I'm not making that up.
The ball, chain, and stick, what is that called?
A flail. In that case, a single ball flail. There are 2 and 3. I think 3 is an affectation.
What's the difference between a flail and a morning star?
A morning star, that's a morning star. However, it would have that ball and the spikes. Also, morning stars very often had really long spikes because it would concentrate the energy, penetrate the helmet and the skull. However, it would also get stuck. Yes, sir.
The yellow object next to the helmet, what is that?
That's a modern Halligan tool. It's basically a let me in now tool, so it's a breaching tool. And it was given to me as a gift. So, leave it alone. It's mine.
Universal lockpick.
Pretty much. Okay, yes, I've had trouble with the keys to the padlocks. And they're going, Kevin's having trouble with the keys to the padlock here. Thank you very much.